Welcome back, everyone. Back to the Road to Making Bank podcast, episode 13. Hope you're all going very well. Luca Ben in the house once again. How are you, my friend?
Doing very well, thank you. I was just thinking we could have saved this podcast for next week, for Friday the 13th. Made it real spooky.
We could have done a spooky Halloween themed podcast.
Yeah.
How would that work?
I don't even know. I don't even know if it's a Halloween theme. It'd just be the Jason X or what one. It's one of those ones. I think it's Jason X.
Well, if we did video, which we tried last week, but we didn't try this week, we could have dressed up, right?
Yeah, I'm not a costume guy, to be honest. I've done it, but
Yeah, I'm not either.
that's right.
It's really... Oh, like, I can get into it, but like, I'm not going to go out of my way to do it. Like, I can do it for certain occasions, but like, yeah.
It's certainly a minimal effort thing on my behalf, I must say.
When's the last time you dressed up for a costume party?
Couldn't tell you. I think the last time I remember was, I think we were at Dargs's place. When he was living in
Our friend
Brunswick.
Dargs, for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It was years ago. It may have been a decade ago.
Last time I can remember, I dressed up as Johnny Depp from Once Upon a Time in Mexico and had the blood coming down my eyes. See, like a cool costume like that's cool, but I don't know.
Oh, no.
If I don't dig it, I'm just like, I'm not going to do it, sort of thing.
I think when we went as a motorcycle gang was probably the last time.
Oh, yeah. See, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was minimal effort.
Yeah, but if it's like dress up as your favorite superhero or something, I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
No, yeah, not about it. But yeah, how are you going?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I have been a bit sick, which has sucked. Just not bad. It's just mild, just like energy drainer, and yeah. But otherwise, been good. I got my first interested lead for my I'm offering podcasting services, so editing and that. So this lady is going to send me over some stuff to edit up, chop up, do a couple of Instagram cut downs, so see how that goes. She may dig it, she may not, but I'm offering to do it for free anyway, just to get a feel to see if we're good to work together. So
Is this the same lady that was impressed by your outreach email, your cold outreach email?
no, it was a different one. Yeah, different.
Oh, okay. So you've had a little bit of interest.
Yeah, probably had about no, this is the only person that's generally been interested, but I've had replies. Yeah, I've had about 10 replies or something.
Yeah, but you've had some compliments on your approach and whatnot, have you not?
Yeah, from one lady.
Yeah.
She was nice about it. So, it's, when I compare it to, I've been trying to offer some marketing services, like building a funnel for like solar companies in USA. Just like trying to book them more calls and that. And I've been getting way more replies from this offer, the podcasting offer. So it's working better for me at the moment, which is actually, it's taught me a lot about in terms of offers, like the way it's written. And so it's been a really good exercise to do, to learn about that, creating an offer, I guess. So that's been cool. Yeah, it doesn't work out with this this girl. She runs a podcast. Then I just keep going, I guess. Just keep it. Just don't quit, I think is the don't quit. That should be the theme for this podcast, I reckon. And maybe AI.
AI never quits.
That's right, man. Yeah, as long as there's power and internet connection, I guess AI doesn't quit, does it?
No, and then once it becomes self-sufficient, it won't need us anymore. It won't even need batteries. It won't need the internet.
No, man. Then we got Terminator 2. Skynet.
That's it. Terminator never quits.
Yeah. You know that scene from Terminator 2 and he's like sweating and he's got the thing and he's going to drop it and yeah, that's...
yeah, that dude.
That's an intense scene. Dyson? Is it
Dyson, yeah. He's like
maybe
doing that like weird breathing.
Yeah, he's like... And then he drops it and blows up Skynet, doesn't he? And he kills himself. Is that what, I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah, he blows everything up.
Yeah, that's right. It saves humanity in the future, right?
I don't think I can hold it much longer.
That's right. Man, I want to watch that again. Maybe we should watch it and talk about it on the next pod.
All right. How is Terminator affecting the current climate?
Yeah, is Terminator 2 a prophecy, or is it just a piece of science fiction art? Put that to the audience. Let us know. Prophetic or good piece of art and filmmaking, if that's your thing, of course. I reckon it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I loved it. Loved it growing up.
Like, mainstream and everything, but it's pretty cool. John Connor, you know, like riding motorbikes, rigging ATM machines, stealing money. It's pretty sick.
Loved it.
Let's roll into it. What do we got here? Can you share any recent observations relating to business and entrepreneurship and the approach to it since our last chat, or do you have any topics you want to talk about in particular?
All right. I think we had a couple that we wanted to start with.
Yeah, cool. So we go off the docket. First principles thinking. So this came up in an Instagram post by this guy called James Clear, which later I found out wrote the book Atomic Habits, which seems to be a really popular book that I haven't read yet. Have you read that, Luca?
I have not, but I have got it on my shelf.
You own it. That's cool.
I own it.
Yeah, so, you know, he's just generally talking about the concept. It's kind of basic, I guess, but it's maybe something that, like, everyone doesn't do. Like, you have to consciously implement it, whereas it's not like subconscious action, I think, when you're trying to solve a problem or think about a concept. So, yeah, so I'll just read a bit from it. First principles thinking, which is sometimes called reasoning from first principles, is one of the most effective strategies you can employ for breaking down complicated problems and generating original solutions. It also might be the single best approach to learn how to think for yourself. So an example from Elon Musk, I quote, "I tend to approach things from a physics framework," Musk said in an interview. Physics teaches you to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. So I said, okay, let's look at first principles. What is a rocket made of? Aerospace grade aluminium alloys plus some titanium, copper, and carbon fiber. Then I asked, what is the value of those materials on the commodity market? It turned out that the materials cost of a rocket was around 2% of the typical price. Cool. So the materials were way cheaper. Instead of buying a finished rocket for tens of millions, Musk decided to create his own company, purchase the raw materials for cheap, and build the rockets himself. SpaceX was born. Cool. So he saved a bunch of money by reducing it to first principles thinking and building it from the ground up. Within a few years, SpaceX had cut the price of launching a rocket by nearly 10x while still making a profit. Musk used first principles thinking to break the situation down to the fundamentals, bypass the high prices of the aerospace industry, and create a more effective solution. First principles thinking is the act of boiling a process down to the fundamental parts that you know are true and building up from there. Let's discuss how you can utilize first principles thinking in your life and work. So, Yeah, okay, I'll keep going. The first principle is a basic assumption that cannot be deduced any further. Over 2,000 years ago, Aristotle defined a first principle as the first basis from which a thing is known. Okay. Yeah, so there's an example here. Now let's break these items down into their constituent parts. Motorboat, the motor, the hull of a boat, and a pair of skis. A tank, metal treads, steel armor plates, and a gun. Bicycle, handlebars, wheels, gears, and a seat. So you have these three things: a motorboat, a tank, and a bicycle, and their parts. What can you create from these individual parts? One option is to make a snowmobile by combining the handlebars and seat from the bike, the metal treads from the tank, and the motor and skis from the boat. This is the process of first principles thinking in a nutshell. It is a cycle of breaking a situation down into the core pieces and then putting them all back together in a more effective way. Deconstruct, then reconstruct. A tank and a bicycle appear to have nothing in common, but pieces of a tank and a bicycle can be combined to develop innovations like a snowmobile. Yeah, cool. So there's a bit more, but like that's enough to go off. So would you say like, I don't know, like how many people would apply this thinking when coming up with a business product? And like, have you sort of thought about things in this way, Luca?
Yeah, well, I guess for me, I was thinking about the idea that came up from a business perspective would have been the license program, where I was thinking of, getting people who can't, young people who aren't in a position to rent cars overseas because they don't have the insurance, they don't have the qualifications, they don't have the hours driving. If you had, if they paid for a license where they got a truck license, motorbike license, car license, makes them 10 times safer on the roads, and then allowing them, I guess, to drive overseas. It also helps if you became sort of like more of a community-based idea where young people are logging hours in old people cars, like old people who have cars that can't really drive them for health reasons, or maybe it's not safe for them to be driving anymore, but they still own the vehicles. You could mix the two. It's that whole access over ownership in this coming century, I guess.
Yeah. So in that example, like the goal would be to get these people licensed, and first principles approach might be to think of the ways that could come about from the ground up. So instead of traditional ways to train someone,
well, you're
thinking of different methods.
Yeah, right? I
Right.
mean, I'm thinking, people who, like, let's try and kill two birds with one stone here. So instead of parents, driving their children around trying to teach them how to drive, why don't we get professionals, teach them how to drive, get the license, and then have young people drive old people around? People that need to get around anyway. Like, you've got an old person, we've got NDIS here in Australia. So you've got people that are literally getting paid to help disabled people get around town, go do their grocery shopping, spend time with them just socially. Now, what
is this after they've been licensed or before they've been licensed?
I mean, you could do it before or after.
Yeah. Okay.
Could be a both process kind of thing. You'd probably have to be after in some sense. At the moment, I think it's like you got to lodge 120 hours to get a license. But if you swapped it around a bit, where you went for the test, if you are competent to pass the test, and then you could log 120 hours with a guardian or someone who has a full license, maybe you could do it that way. Or maybe you could do half-half. But it just means that, or you could do some sort of rental where young people can rent like old people's cars where they can't drive, and instead of paying the old person in cash, they actually just drive them around or run errands or take them to appointments or whatever, like, you know, something along those lines where there's a mutual benefit.
Yeah, cool.
Rather than the young kid having to buy a car, maybe they can just rent the car out. So they do X amount of hours where they're helping, you know, this elderly person out or this disabled person out. And then that gets them 10 free hours on their own to take the car out and go around with friends or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, so you're kind of making it more like it's this, you know, the same goal that's being achieved, but you're making it more providing more value to society, I guess. So adding making the process.
I mean, just imagine it as Uber, but the person who's getting driven owns the car and the person driving needs driving experience.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So the Uber driver is getting experience learning how to drive, and the passenger owns the car.
Yeah, okay. I see. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, do you think that would be an example of first principles?
Well, I think it's taking a bunch of things that people need and just like piecing it together, kind of like the motorbike, the tank, and the bicycle. You've got two people that need something, and one person's got the car, the other one has the will to learn or the need to learn. So why don't you put these two people together, save them money, both of them money and time, and they both get something out of it. And it also creates community, a community aspect as well, where you've got young people and older people or disabled people or people that may not generally have anything in common, brings them together. And I think it creates a bit of a community bond, which I think is lacking at the moment in our society.
Yeah, I think it's you're kind of deconstructing it and achieving the goals more efficiently and providing more value. So yeah, I guess that applies. So yeah, it says that this is the process of first principles thinking in a nutshell. It is the cycle of breaking a situation down into the core pieces and then putting them all back together in a more effective way. So yeah, definitely applies. I haven't really thought about any examples, but when I just top of my head just then, I don't know, like say you want to start a cleaning business and the usual approach is to just buy vacuum cleaners and that, but like if you want to break it down and there could be a better way to achieve the end goal in a more efficient, effective way, without using the traditional vacuums or whatever. It could be like, I don't know, some sort of organic products or some, I don't know, who knows? Someone needs to invent it, but does that make sense?
Yeah, I reckon it's to do with how you build houses. I reckon it's about how you
start with the foundation.
Well, I reckon it's about somehow, because I've thought about this as well, because I hate vacuuming. I'm trying to think, like, how would I design a house where I wouldn't have to vacuum, where there's no dust build up everywhere? So if you had, like, gaps under doors where you had drafts coming through, and that draft pushes the dust like through the, or there might be gaps in the floorboards, or it might be slightly tilted inwards so that things fall into the gaps, and then you've got like this underneath layer that just kind of like removes the dust. And then when you open, like when you close the doors, or there's some sort of like little lever that shuts off the gap, so you've got no draft if you want to try and keep it warm. Or like once a week you open up all the latches, and just the draft comes through and cleans the whole floor, just like the wind pushes everything into a corner or something like that.
I like it. I like that thinking.
It's all in the engineering.
Definitely applies. Yeah, you know, you use less energy. There's less expended energy. I guess the only problem would be having, you know, when it's cold in Melbourne in the winter and the drafts. Maybe you could do it here in Thailand because it's warm all the time.
But I mean, even just like the simple idea of having two-way windows, like you've got air coming in from the window down below, and then usually, you know, buildings with high ceilings, they've got windows up the top that you can open to let the hot air out. Hot air rises, so it's just, you know, open a window so it can escape, and then have a window down low so the cooler air can come in. It's just naturally cycling out, rather than hanging out stagnant in everyone's home, and then they need air conditioners to just cool the place down. Seems a bit of a waste.
Yeah, for sure. It's just
like
good design and possibly implementing a first principles approach.
Well, I mean, the houses are being designed for air conditionings. You know what I mean? Back in the day, there wasn't air conditioning systems, so they had to design the house in a way that they could naturally, without energy, cool the place down or heat the place up. Whereas now they're being designed like, oh, well, there's going to be an air conditioning system here, so that's how we're going to design the house, rather than designing it efficiently and then having that as an extra. It's now becoming dependent.
Yeah, right. If that's happening, that's pretty bad, I guess. I mean, you know, because the power can always go out, so especially having got solar and off-grid setups. So yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, cool. Anyway, it's a concept that I'm not super familiar with, but I have heard about it, but just thought I'd mention it. Yeah, cool. Quote of the day. So this came from an X post by a guy I followed over the years, Gad Sad. I just thought it's kind of relevant in today's time, but you know, it can be applied to entrepreneurship and business. So I can't remember what it was about. Well, let's just read the reply. It says, "Thank you for your kind words." So this is a reply to someone. "Thank you for your kind words. I've answered your query in numerous settings, so I'll refrain from repeating it here. I'll simply say that the defense of the truth is a deontological pursuit that we can never waver from. Cowardice is a sin." And we go on to define deontology. So in moral philosophy, deontological ethics, or deontology, is the normative ethical theory that the morality of an action should be based on whether that action itself is right or wrong under a series of rules and principles, rather than based on the consequences of the action. Yeah, so like just generally speaking, that could mean like, you know, I think there was a movie a while ago, I've heard it being talked about, and maybe Avengers or something, and a guy has to make a decision. Does he blow up a planet to save? Does he kill people to save a larger amount of people? Potentially save a larger amount of people, or does he not do that and let people potentially die?
I think it was he had to like kill half a population of the universe or something like that.
Yeah, have you seen the movie?
No, I haven't seen
Avengers
it.
Or something?
Yeah, I can't remember the guy, but he's got some like special hand. I don't know what the situation is, but it kind of sounds like he either has to kill half of the universe so that the other half can live, or everyone dies.
Yeah, right.
I think it's
Um,
something like that.
yeah, so it's an interesting ethical position, and for me, it's like definitely you just don't kill people at all. But like some people maybe would think otherwise, and maybe we're experiencing that a bit in today's society. But yeah, so so applying that principle, like if you know, if you believe in that a deontological value, you know, it can be considered virtuous to, you know, just believe in back yourself in your conviction, and if you don't, like, you could be a coward. And he says cowardice is a sin. And yeah, I just thought, you know, in challenging times, you know, stick up for what you believe in, and because you don't want to be, I don't know, it's not, so for myself personally, it's like, I can't fathom the pursuit. I mean, the thought of, like, you know, doing something cowardly, and yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, we've brought this up in like a previous episode. You might have thought, I think you said, you know, in some circumstances when you're a kid, you might have thought it acted in that way, being more cowardly. Like, what do you think about this concept?
Yeah, I think there is a time to be smart and a time to be strong. Yeah, I mean, I think there's people out there that know their limits that will speak out, but will still know when it's time to shut up. And I think that's for everyone. And I guess it comes down to conviction a lot of the time. Is, you know, it's if you do feel that you're in the right, sometimes it might cost you your life. You know, there's people.
You have to be. I guess the concept is like, is it better to speak the truth and take the consequences? And yeah, and I guess it's different for every person. But like, for me, it'd be, I'd rather accept the consequences, so, you know, even if they were negative. Yes, but you have to weigh up the consequences, I guess. It can't be too detrimental. So like, if you're gonna, like, actually
like, if saying something out loud, is going to cost you your life or potentially put you in serious,
like if a guy has a gun to your head,
like, yeah, you can say something. You can say something that's going to get you killed, or you can just live and then maybe, you know, make a better decision down the line where you can get this person, you know, locked up or something.
But let's say you don't. Let's say your life's not at stake, and it's only like financially you're at stake or whatever, or reputationally. It's like,
well, I mean, those two things could all be the same. They could all be in the same bucket. Because, you know, if your life's not at risk, but your reputation and your financial future is at risk, how different are they from one another?
Well, I think they're distinctly different. Like,
I mean, if you've always got your life.
If a guy has a gun to your head and, you know, he says, do something, you really don't want to do something, or admit something that you know is not true, that, you know, it's like...
Well, let's say if you're
That's a very different situation.
Let's say if you're known around the world and then you have a reputation, let's say it's something, maybe, you know, we spoke about being falsely accused the other week. So maybe you're falsely accused for something. And maybe it comes back that you weren't convicted, but the evidence was so strong that people kind of just believe it, even though it's not true. and then you lose your ability to make any sort of income because no one wants to hire you, and no one wants to be the company that hired that guy. So now your reputation's ruined and your financial future is ruined, but you've still got your life. Like, and it depends. I mean, if you're someone who can bounce back from that, you might find a way to earn a living or to make a reasonable life for yourself, or it might just turn into an absolute disaster from there and only get worse. You never really know until you live that life, but I don't know.
I'm not saying
sometimes having
that situation is easy or whatever. Yeah, it's horrible.
But I guess bad, they are different. You're alive.
I would say it's different technically. Yeah, it's like technically it's different, but like conceptually it's similar.
Yeah, and maybe it just comes down to the person. I mean, making the best of what you got. Some people will make the best of it. Some people will lay down the ditch and die. So yeah, I guess it's more of an individual question, really.
Yeah. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that, with I don't know, potentially unpredictable future coming up in terms of currencies and financial system and just like liberty in societies. So yeah, just thought I'd mention it. Last week we talked about AI, and we didn't really know how to define it, did we? So I just want to just get some definitions out of the way, because in the in the business space, I'll talk about it a bit later with specific stuff, but artificial intelligence, application software as a service is like really taking off at the moment, I've realized. So I think it's very relevant to our times. Artificial intelligence, so this is Britannica.com. The ability of a digital computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. The term is frequently applied to the project of developing systems endowed with the intellectual processes characteristic of humans, such as the ability to reason, discover meaning, generalize, or learn from past experience. Yeah. And so like the main element of artificial intelligence is machine learning, I think. So I'll define that. In artificial intelligence, machine learning, in artificial intelligence, brackets, a subject within computer science, close bracket, in artificial intelligence, discipline concerned with the implementation of computer software that can learn autonomously. Expert systems and data mining programs are the most common applications for improving algorithms through the use of machine learning. Among the most common approaches are the use of artificial neural networks and genetic algorithms by algorithms to produce successfully fitter programs. There's one line I wanted to read from an essay I wrote. So machine learning is concerned with the construction of programs that learn from experience. So I think that's kind of like the crux of it. So if it's getting fed new data, it's learning like, what is an optimal result from people using this process, and what's a negative result, and then it learns from that. It can create new data. So yeah. So it clears things up for me a little bit. How about you, Luca?
I guess that was probably my understanding of it in the first place. Just the basics of it.
Yeah.
So not really sure that there's much more there.
Yeah. So just wanted to find that, and it's going to be a big part of our lives going forward, I think. So affiliate world Bangkok, Did you want to talk about that, Luca?
Yes.
Conference?
I mean, I didn't go through it too deeply. Yeah, I guess it was something that just popped up on my feed. Looks like there's an affiliate networking conference in Bangkok in December, which came at an interesting time because I think you were talking about getting into affiliate work as an additional income stream. So yeah, I just thought it was very, very coincidental that both popped up on the same day.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Like really cool. It's been going for a few years, I think. And there's locations in Barcelona, like it happens in Barcelona, Dubai, and Bangkok. Yeah, so you get, dudes like Neil Patel, and he's pretty big in the marketing world, and there's you get access to a marketplace like app, so you can actually directly connect with people through an app, I think. It's like there's talks, there's there's like agencies and brands that want to get people on their affiliate programs or whatever. There's parties, what else is there? Did you look at the website?
Yeah, I didn't go too deep into it. I thought it was more just something I'd send you if you were interested in. I didn't really necessarily see myself going, but if there's always an opportunity.
I thought you put it in the questions. Should the boys go to Bangkok in December? So
well,
I thought,
hey, should we? I mean, I was open to it if you were open to it, but I don't know. I'm not. I can't get a response out of you, so I'm not sure if it's going to work.
Well, the problem is that I'm not sure if I can drop the $990 US on it. But if it was cheaper, I would definitely be in.
I mean, let's talk it out. You want to get into affiliate marketing. This is an affiliate marketing event. You're in Bangkok. They're in Bangkok. It's the price of a ticket for you, whereas other people are coming from around the world to be at this event. It's going to be at your doorstep.
That's right. I mean, it'd be silly for me not to go, but there is a problem that I don't have any income coming in at the moment besides a little bit from rental property, but that's not even, it's
neither here nor there.
Yeah.
It's you got to spend money to make money, I think is the saying.
And it is a bit, yes.
I mean, these are potentially your clients if you were to go. You're an affiliate marketer, so you will be marketing for these people potentially.
Yeah, so you can actually directly talk to the people, the companies. Yeah, which would be cool.
You could be selling their
there's the
products.
aspect is like, I'm just getting into it. I don't. You can just sign up for programs online and get approved or whatnot. You can connect with people through email, so it's not essential, I guess, but it would be very cool and very fun.
Not essential, but you also have the advantage that you have plenty of time.
Yes. Yeah, but I don't have plenty of money. So the idea is to make money so I can go, but it's in the 7th to 8th December. So we'll
decisions need to be made.
Yes. And there is a scarcity offer going on here. It's 2 days and then they're going to jack up the price. So
yeah. So this is the
clock's a ticking, Luca. Clock is a ticking.
The price is as cheap as it's ever going to be for 2023.
Yeah. So it looks super fun. So if anyone doesn't know about it that is in Thailand, get into it. And if you're in another country, maybe fly over and you're on the scene. Seems to be very cool. Yeah. Cool, man. Anything else? Did you want to talk about anything? The first section?
I think we had... No, that was any recent observations. I think that was the topics that we had for that question, yeah.
Yeah, cool, man. You're currently working on a business. How's the progress? Or do you have any new business ideas you'd like to discuss?
Yeah, I think we'll go with the ones that we've got available. I think you had a couple that you wanted to start off with.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, I just had a couple of things to note. So, so I had, well, we talked about this at the start, but yeah, I got my first interested lead from my cold email campaign for offering podcasting services. So,
So how many had you put out by this point?
yes, the emails would have been maybe about, I don't know, 100 around there. Something like that. Yeah. So I think the reply rate could have been up near like maybe 7-10% now, which I think is pretty good. So yeah, so in contrast to offering to solar, it's been different. So it's definitely learning a lot from giving an offer. And and I guess the question now is, will I land my first client or not? And fingers crossed, I'm going to do everything I can to do it. But we'll see how it goes. Cool. So in terms of cold email campaign, there's some tools that are really helpful. So, I used this site called Podseeker, which you can get access. It's like a podcast search website, which is good. It's some little bugs with it, but it's actually a guy from Mornington, actually, I think. The business address is in Mornington, Victoria, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, nice.
It ranks really high in the search engine for podcast directories. Maybe like top 3 or something. So on DuckDuckGo. So Podseeker, that was cool for getting podcast details. So for anyone out there, if you even want to just be reach out to be a guest on podcasts, Podseeker's decent, but there's also Podchaser and Listen Notes, which are the other 2 big ones. But if you want to get bulk export into a CSV file, Podseeker seems to be the cheapest, and you get a 7-day free trial. I cancelled my trial, but I will probably pay for the services in the future. So they're pretty good. Can recommend them if you offer similar services to anyone that does podcasts. Email verification. So when you do when you're building an email list, you need to make sure that they're all valid email addresses and that they're all active, because if you're sending emails and they bounce, it's really bad for the reputation of your domain. So if you're sending out to inactive, cancelled email addresses, you're just going to get strikes, and if you've paid for a domain name, that could suck. So you definitely want to verify all your emails before sending out in a campaign. There's a few out there. There's Million Verifier. There's what was the other one? Never Bounce. I think they're really popular, those ones, but I just went from non-fancy ones called Bulk Email Verifier, and it was way cheaper. I think it was up to 10 times cheaper. So per email you're testing. So I can recommend them. It works. And I think it's $10 for 10,000 emails, which is pretty good. $10 US. So that's that. with the Instantly software, I upgraded my plan to a hypergrowth plan. So, and we're talking about AI, so now I can use generative AI prompts. So there's a bunch of different things you can do with it. So you can use it to create like an opening line or a personalization from from an input. So their input could be a website or their company name, their location, or something like that. So yeah, depending on the input, you come up with things like first line, something like a joke, something like a joke about their location or something. What else? I think there's some other stuff I can't recall off the top of my head, but things like that, and you can just you can create it for a whole list, like for hundreds of people at the touch of a button. I think it's a little bit buggy at the moment. They've just introduced it, but it is cool. I think you could probably come up with copy with it as well. I know different apps you can, maybe not instantly, but yeah. So it is like if anyone has a business out there and you're looking to do cold outreach, it's just, I don't know, it seems like almost inevitable now that like all this AI stuff is going to be used or come in handy. Yeah, I haven't used it much because it has to really be, it might not work properly all the time and be suitable. So I haven't, actually, wait, I don't know if I've actually used it at all yet, but I've played around with it. Yeah. So I haven't actually sent it out, but yeah. Yeah. Anything any comments on that, Luca, or talk for a while?
Yeah, I guess I haven't really sent any cold emails or outreach. So,
would you, if you had a business, let's say you wanted to land clients for arborist work, like you don't need to, but like, if you would send out a cold campaign, yeah, I mean, you could use these tools, I guess, if you needed.
Yeah.
Or like, would you do it in a business in the future?
Yeah, I mean, certainly depending on what the business was, if it would make sense to do it, then yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It depends. Yeah, like I said, depends on the business, depends on the business owners. I think we've spoken in the past about some people prefer to do their business organically, and some people are happy to make it as efficient as possible. So yeah, it's just two different mindsets, I think, and it definitely separates people. And I think if you approach one person from one angle that doesn't really align with how they like to do business, then you probably lose them. And I think that's probably what you find in maybe a lot of the cases where people just don't really enjoy being approached in that way. They're just people that are probably just set in their way of how they like to do things, and it just doesn't really align with how they like to do business. Some people can be swayed and some people can't. And some people don't need to be swayed at all because they're just on board with it already. So I think it's just, finding the people that work for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you have, it just comes down to if it's suitable or not, isn't it? So if you have like an offer that's easily, offered through these channels, like a digital product or whatever, it could work really well. And I think it's much better in a business to business sense. Business to consumer, it's not really going to work that well, I'd say. But yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, I was going to... A plan in the future for me is I might try give affiliate marketing a crack. So trying to build some funnels and sell some other people's products. And it's good practice to for digital marketers, I guess. So I haven't really I've been trying to offer services, so I haven't really approached this angle. But if I've got, you know, some campaigns, some cold outreach campaigns set up, and I have a bit more time to try something else to like diversify income, I'm gonna try this. Yeah, so yeah, one example is, which I might offer, I've signed up for Capitalist Exploits affiliate program, and I might put the link at the bottom. So it's weird. They've given me a link, an affiliate link, but I'm not sure if they've approved me yet. So I've sent a couple of emails, but I don't know. It's weird. Like they've sent me all this information to get started, but I don't think, because they haven't given me login details for the site, so I can't actually access the site. So anyway, I've got the affiliate link. If I put it down the bottom, like people can look at it. So they have a couple of products. It's like an investment newsletter and a flagship investment education product, I guess, which includes the newsletter. But I don't know. I just, when I went to research it, just like affiliate programs or whatever, I have no idea how they work really. And the first thing that came up was Capitalist Exploits, which is like so weird because I've followed Chris McIntosh for like years. He's a fund manager, and he's pretty well respected on the macro scene. Like he's done a bunch. He works with George Gammon a bit, so he's done a bunch of George Gammon interviews, and yeah, and he's like really you know, he's probably an anarcho-capitalist. Like his views aren't going to be you know, accepted. He could get, you know, he's pretty highly cancelable, if that makes sense. And yeah, Capitalist Exploits came up on a top 20 list on a Shopify website. So it just seemed really out of place. But the fact that it's in there, because they offer like $750, it's like a 50% commission on affiliate sales, and their flagship product is $2,500. So that's $750 on one affiliate sale, and I think it's $17 on the newsletter. So that's why it's there. That just like felt so weird and out of place for them to be on this like Shopify list alongside, you know, like HubSpot and Amazon and all this shit. And you have this fucking rebel investment firm that are like, you know,
we're all still playing the same game,
cutting through the shit, and then they're just on there. It's because they have these high commissions, which made me think, why isn't other investment newsletters coming up on that list? Maybe they don't have affiliate programs, but anyway, I just thought it was really interesting, and I applied for it, and I don't know if I've been accepted yet, but it's a product to get behind, because I understand Chris's macro thesis and his you know, his investment sort of outlook. He's got a good understanding. You know, he was advocating for investing in things like oil tankers and shit, like through the COVID period, because like storage was so limited for oil, and they were just getting stored on these ships, and they couldn't move anywhere. So like the demand for these ships for storage was like huge, and I think they could have made a bit of money there because of the demand for oil tankers. So yeah, if anyone's keen, check out the link. If I put it down there anyway, I might not, but we'll see. But yeah, have you have any interest in?
I mean, yeah, for me,
these sort of programs.
Thinking about affiliate marketing, there's always cool products that I use that I always tell people about and promote. But Yeah, I've never actually looked into selling them on behalf of the
Yeah.
company, which I should do, because a lot of the time it's not necessarily, there's already people out there that are making amazing products that you don't really need to improve, but that you can just, the best thing you can do is just tell someone about it so they can improve their own lives by using it or having it. So yeah, it's certainly something, if you believe in it, then it's an easy way to sell it. If you've got a product that you don't believe in, it's going to be a lot harder to sell. So I guess if you're selling something that you use, then the proof is in the fact that you're already on board. If you're happy to spend your own money on it, then easier to ask for other people for money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you use the product, it's ideal.
Yeah.
Especially, the main thing they look for is if you have an audience or not. If the company's, so if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, Instagram following, social media followings, it's I guess it's just like you're monetizing that traffic sort of thing if you're a content creator.
It also makes you pretty bulletproof as well. Like if you've only got, if you're a business and you're promoting your product on one channel, and for whatever reason, it might be YouTube or Instagram, and you get banned, then that's your entire advertising stream, down the drain. Whereas if you've got affiliates all around the world selling to all different, customers and all different audiences, then, and it's, there's something worthwhile in it for them. One, it saves you having to advertise at all. Eventually, depending if you get to that certain level where you've got, hundreds or thousands of people advertising your products for you. And if you've got high commissions, then it's something in it for them to keep doing. And it means that if your channel goes down, well, there's still a bunch of people all around the world still promoting your product, and they're not going to, the likelihood that it's going to be cancelled in every country is pretty low. So, yeah, I think,
it's a way to diversify, isn't it? For companies.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then you get people on board as affiliates. It might start out as them selling products, but it also might be a good way to scan for potential employees for the company as well. So if you're looking for future employees for your business, why not look at your affiliates who are promoting the product?
Yeah, they know the product well. Yeah. And they can sell as well. Yeah,
you can. If you're also looking for ways to improve the product, you could always send them questionnaires or surveys. They might be more inclined to, affiliates might be more inclined to provide feedback than, let's say, maybe a user or a customer might be, because they might see what works, what doesn't, kind of firsthand. They might get that feedback from customers that they sell to. So it's just another point of contact for a different data point, I guess.
It's basically just a win-win for companies, really, with little to no risk. You could have someone just like, they just spam people or whatever, and or they just, but you can just cancel their partnership. You just press
Yeah, absolutely.
You just because it's a link, you can just stop the link working.
And
it's just like, I was just saying it's just a win-win. And
I was going to say it depends on the product, I think. Some products are a lot easier to market with an affiliate link than other products. If you've got a physical product. Well, if you've got a like an online course, it costs nothing for that to be replicated.
Yeah.
It's just an online course. You send someone the link, they watch the video, they pay money for watching the video. It costs nothing. But if you're selling a car, all around the world, you still have to ship the car. You still have to pay for the costs for it to be produced. You know, you still have to pay for
products that can't be shipped, posted, could run into problems. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think depending on the product depends on how big the margins are going to be and how beneficial affiliate links are going to be.
It's basically like products that you can buy through clicking a link, I guess, because that's the only limitation. I think you're not going to buy a car through clicking a link, but probably like most products you can these days, right? Or services, of course, you can't, like physical services. But
well, you still can, yeah, some of them.
Oh yeah. You just buy it's like a voucher or something. You can just use that.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess my point was that some products or services are going to be more suited for affiliate links than others, or the margins will certainly be higher. But I guess that's with everything and anything.
Yeah, cool, man. All right. Moving on. Courses. So I'm getting through the Hormozy Offers course online. That's been really good. I haven't finished it yet. I think I'm up to like the guarantees section. But, and Hormozy ties into what we've been talking about, like cold outreach and affiliates. He bangs on that in $100 million leads. So definitely check that out if you want to learn more. The Offers course, I think he looks really different in it as well. He's got like long hair tied up, and it's like this mustache, and so it's like it's obviously his earlier stuff, and it's cool. He drills down on offers. What specifically, like bonuses and guarantees. The way the mechanics of like giving an offer and solving a problem with the least amount of resistance for the customer, and he kind of, the way he does it, it's just he articulates it really well. Just I wish I'd had an example, but just generally speaking, he's going through the whole process. I haven't finished it yet. Luca, you got any courses?
I've got the book right in front of me.
Offers?
Yeah, I got it. Finally got it.
Finally got it. Nice.
It's here. I think that's going to be my day tomorrow. But I also bought his...
well, you had the challenge, right? You're going to read that in a day, right?
Got to read it in a day.
It's possible. I mean, judging from the content of the course.
It's a lot smaller than the $100 million leads book.
Oh, right.
It's probably half the size.
You reckon you can smash it in a day?
I think I can do it, yeah.
Awesome. What was the bet? Like, if you don't do it, you have to do something? Buy a book, buy that for someone? Or I can't remember. I have to go back and listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I've forgotten it as well. But I think it was I'd have to...
No, it was if you do it, I will buy a book for the audience, wasn't it? Yeah, it was I will buy... Was it Rich Dad Poor Dad or something for someone? Or?
I think it was. You were talking Rich Dad Poor Dad.
I'll buy Rich Dad Poor Dad for someone if Luca finishes this book. So the moment that Luca announces on the pod and you hear it, email us and I'll buy Rich Dad Poor Dad for someone. Actually, is that going to work? Oh, I don't really want to pay for shipping.
You've committed. You've committed to it.
Maybe I'll take that back for now. just finish the book first, and we'll
You don't get to decide
after
at
that.
the end what the rules.
I can't decide on air.
You already decided.
I'll meditate on this.
You've already we've recorded it live and we've put it out on a podcast. You've already agreed to the bet.
Hey, I haven't finished the thought process, so
But that doesn't count. You do that before you make the bet. If you finish the thought.
But what if shipping's like $200 on a $20 book?
Yeah, well, I mean, you could buy it in that person's country and then let them, provide them with an Amazon voucher to purchase the book.
There's going to be logistical problems. Anyway, I'll think about it, and then maybe I'll
buy the book.
Next episode.
We'll buy the book, and then we'll see how we can get it to you. But Rich Dad Poor Dad is the book on offer.
We'll work it out, yeah, because I think we were talking about how it gives a good overview for people wanting to understand personal finance better.
I have been reading another book by Alex Hormozy called Gym Launch Secrets.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the secrets and all of his learnings from opening up a gym and what to do to make them successful, and how they've helped a lot of gyms pretty much rise up out of the gutter. So yeah, it's been pretty interesting. I think some of them are pretty. The book's a couple of years old now, so they might be. I think it's 2018. The book. So there's probably the things that are in the book are we're probably seeing the average gym doing these days. Maybe not. I'm not sure, but yeah, a lot of them sound like things that I've seen in gyms that I've been to, but whether they are all being done by one gym, like all these techniques are being used by one gym, I haven't seen that. So yeah, I think implementing everything, it'd be interesting to see how many gyms are doing that and how many are successful and how many aren't. But yeah, I mean,
it sounds like he's sold that program to heaps of gyms, yeah?
Yeah, I think he's
so many gyms out there, so massive market.
I don't know. I think this one particular it was 5,000 gyms or something.
Could you apply any of those?
I think he said he did 4,000 sales just on his own. But I think that may have been for customers. I don't know. That might be all up just in all of his sales career at that point.
It's a lot. Shit.
Like 4,000 personal sales.
Yeah. Like closing by being on the phone or whatever, yeah. No, it's impressive what he's done, man. He's a legend. He's really, helped a lot of people, helped a lot of gyms, and he deserves what he gets. So and he's educating people as well now. So yeah, I was going to ask, could any of those concepts be applied to different businesses through the Gymshark program, or like
Gym Launch?
Business?
Yeah, I think.
Gym Launch. What am I saying? Gymshark.
I think Gymshark's a different thing. They've got like a clothing line and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's a separate company, which is also quite successful, as far as I know. I was actually in a smoothie bar or something the other day, and there's these two young girls talking about Gymshark clothing.
Where were you, sorry?
Like a smoothie bar.
Is Gymshark, is it Hormozy or someone else?
No, Gymshark's someone
else.
Different. Yeah, it's something separate.
Interesting. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So, I think the there might be some first principles in a lot of what Hormozy does. So yeah, I think you could certainly probably use a lot of the techniques from gyms and somehow reverse engineer them and apply them to your own business, for sure.
Yeah, nice. Are you have you made any more psychological progress in like the business that you want to do yet? Or are you like narrowing it down, or are you just still just try to learn everything that you can?
Still piecing it together, but I think I'm really hoping that $100 million offers is really going to help me.
Something could definitely click with that.
I don't know if it's going to be just another piece of the puzzle or if it's actually going to kick my ass into gear. But there's
maybe when you're reading it, apply some first principles thinking.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about a potential product. Yeah. So yeah, because you're not going to do the bookstore anymore, and
I don't want to let the bookstore go though.
Maybe you could try books in another aspect. It's sexy, man. Books, like, I don't know. I'd fucking love to do something with books. Yeah.
Make books sexy.
First principles thinking, Luca. Involving books. Should we do some live first principles?
Let's do some live first principles.
I don't know if I'm
thinking.
smart enough to pull that off.
Okay. How to make books sexy? Well, books are sexy, right?
Break it down to its fundamental form. Okay, so you're transferring knowledge through a physical medium, through reading and understanding a language. Now, could you transfer knowledge in different ways? Of course you could. Digital. You could find a way to maintain that physical, tactile experience of reading a book by maintaining that, by offering a unique service. You could recycle books. I don't know. Am I thinking about it in the right way?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what qualifies. It needs a first principles thinker to really give us the AOK.
Deconstructing and then constructing in a more efficient way, maybe. Maybe a new way to do libraries, a new
online secondhand bookstore. It's the way to go.
Online, but physical books. Yeah, because you wanted to do the review thing, didn't you? I remember, like leaving a book somewhere and then people review it, like a community online or whatever. And like you leave a book with your name on it, or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an idea. I forgot about that one. Yeah, could bring that back. I like it. Just give them free. Good way to give free membership.
Maybe mind map. All right, mind map all your ideas. And then try and deconstruct them all into something cohesive. I don't know.
That's a good idea.
I don't know what I'm talking about, man. We don't offer expertise here on the Road to Making Bank. We just offer
suggestions.
We just offer our journey, which I'm hoping you're joining us on. Amen, brother.
Yeah, I think everyone's been telling me to write stuff out, and it's one thing that I have not done at all. So it's, I mean, apart from today, actually, I did write down all of my business ideas. I've got 11 so far that I can think of.
There you go, man. You're doing it. That's great.
So yeah, now it's time to mind map.
Yeah, you can group them all. Like, there's actually a site, MindMeister. Yeah, I'll give them a plug. Instantly use them for their subject lines and call to action mind map thing, all their suggestions. So MindMeister, if you want to check that out, anyone out there for like cool digital mind mapping software or whatever, brainstorming, I don't know what you call it.
Collaborative mind mapping.
Ooh, There you go. Combining minds.
Yeah, this is the Mind Master app. I'm just on the website now.
Well, Luca, get on this site, MindMeister.
I'm on it.
Start it, send it to me, and then I'll add a few branches from the brain, stemming from the central concept. And let's do some mind mapping, man.
Interesting.
Luca's on that site now. He's gonna
Well, they've got a free
send that to me
version.
during the week.
Up to 3 mind maps, unlimited map collaborators, Meister task integration, MS Teams integration, templates.
Does it look cool to you? The site? I didn't actually go to the main menus of the site. I just got sent a direct link from Instantly, the cold email company that had specific mind map. So I don't know about how to create one or anything. I just looked at them, but it looked cool. Like, like how it was laid out. It was like massive. You could scroll down the whole page. Like the user kind of design looked cool. What do you reckon, mates? Tell the audience what you're seeing?
Just comparing the prices and comparing what you get. So, I mean, if you wanted to do a bit of a trial run, it looks like the free version is a pretty good way to go. The only thing that you're missing out on is custom team domains, group sharing, multiple team administrators, export to Microsoft Word and PowerPoint, mind mapping printing, export to PDF. But you could always just take a screenshot and just turn that photo into a PDF if you had like a PDF converter. Version history where you can see old versions of, how it started to how it's progressed. Attachment size. So you've got different size files that you can attach. But apart from...
Cool. So you could create like a chronological thing. Like a book.
That's the stuff that you miss out on. But everything else, it looks like you get pretty much everything else involved. So, apart from the number of mind maps, you only get 3. The rest are unlimited in all the other versions. So,
yeah, we'll test it out. How much is the first paid option?
So the first paid option is the personal option, which is $11 per month.
Not bad.
Pro is $16.50, and business for large teams is $30.
Yeah, maybe a bit. I'm sure it's like teams could use it really well, but for individual business, people and freelancers, I don't know, but that'd be worth it. But
yeah, I mean,
cool,
if you're someone like me who doesn't do very well with mapping things out or writing it out on paper, then having a digital version that you can always revert back to that's not going to take up heaps of space in your apartment, then it might be a good option.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's cool. Like there's different options. You can have it. You can save the history, so you can make like a book. That actually would be actually cool. See what you started out and see what you finish at. Yeah, that's actually a cool little segue, because I was going to mention an app called Notion, which is an organizational app. Yeah. So, Luke, maybe check this out as well, Luca. So I'm trying it out. It seems pretty good at the moment. Notion is like a notes app, but it's different from anything I've seen. Something like Evernote or whatever. It's more like, how do I say? It's more, you can customize it more. So it's kind of like Lego or something. Like you can choose all these sections, and you can pretty much make, any document you want, type of document, by like choosing different sections, like a task section, a header section, and you can move things around. And it's pretty cool so far. So if you need like a note-taking organizational app, it's seems to me so far to be a winner. You've got like a journal section, personal home, task list, reading list, and you can add teams and you can create all these documents. So it's pretty cool, man. So Luca, if you want a notes app, check that out.
Yeah, I'm just on
It's
the
free
on the app now. So
nice. Yeah, Notion.
request a demo. Maybe I'll request a demo first and see how we go.
Oh, it's free. There's a free option. I'm on the free one. So I think that's all you need for like basic stuff.
Cool. There's a couple new apps that I can give a try.
Yeah. And yeah, so all these apps, all these kind of apps, it seems to be, like a kind of, it's like a new era maybe for like businesses and, integrating AI and all that, because Notion integrates AI. Canva's come out with a new Magic Suite, which they've pumped up. That song that I played you before, Luca?
Yes.
Yeah, so they have this cool, I guess it's a cool song on their introductory video, this big reveal video. So Canva's got all these new AI tools, transfer images, create copy, move, all this cool stuff. Should I bring it up? Canva Magic Studio. Actually, I better not play the song. I'll get...
In the meantime, I'll mention I bumped into an old school friend today who works for a company called Rome to Rio. Not sure if you've heard of it. I hadn't heard of it before.
I have. Yeah.
But yeah, it's
travel.
Yeah,
it's booking buses and shit like that.
Yeah, book anything. It's kind of like a PT for the world. If you want to go anywhere, just type it in and they'll give you the best options of how to get somewhere. And then it works for travel and accommodation, transport. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And he was saying that they topped Google in terms of use for searches on one particular point. I can't remember which one it was, but that's pretty big deal.
Yeah,
to have people
like
use
search about travel or whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, for people to use their website more than Google, and I'm not sure if it was for transport or if it was for accommodation or whatnot, but yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, well, when I search like bus to Chiang Mai or bus to Bangkok or whatever, they came up like nearly top of the list. So, and that I read, they had a couple of good guides about, how to get the bus. I'm pretty sure it was Rome to Rio, like how to get the bus from Bangkok Ekamai station to like Chiang Mai or Mochit to Chiang Mai. So, yeah, there you go. Rome to Rio. Give them a plug if you need travel advice. Just on the AI thing, just for an example, like, now that I don't use my personal Instagram anymore. I've pretty much been using our podcast Instagram because it's all like business related and that. It's just like, I enjoy it way more. I don't know if I'll go back to my personal Instagram, to be honest. But for example, I saw this guy, Lucas O'Keefe, he dropped this, I think it's Magical Guide to Instagram or something. But I don't know if this was the same post, but oh yeah, it is. Yeah. So 20 mind-blowing AI marketing tools. So there's so many cool stuff now. I'll give you an example. So like these companies, so Mage, create beautiful images and GIFs from your text. Radar, magical social media management app. AI top tools, like library of thousands of AI tools in one place. Vizla, create videos from text in seconds. GetMunch turns your long form video into short form bangers. Upscale media, increase the size of photos without losing quality. Captions app, script assistant, caption generator. Write Sonic, the best alternative to Chat GPT. 11 Labs, it reads your text in your voice with AI. So it copies your voice and yeah, it can read text in your voice. Pretty crazy. Could be really bad as well. But Durable create a professional website in seconds. Runway, powerful AI tool for any graphic video need. Smartly, write hypnotic marketing copy. It just goes on. The list goes on and on. Neural Text, Adobe Firefly, Descript, which is a popular app that I've heard, which I might try for this podcast, because you can it's, voice transcription. So I wanted to make any written content from the podcast. I've been meaning to sign up to them, and they're also video editing and that as well, which is pretty cool and good. I think it's AI editing, so you can edit out ums and that. I wouldn't do it with this podcast, but yeah, people wanted to do that. Midjourney is a very cool AI generating image site. So they probably seem to be the top dogs at the moment, Midjourney. So if you want to generate AI images for anything, they seem to be the goer. The bottom of the list, you got Stable Diffusion, generate gorgeous images based on text, similar to Midjourney. Notion's on the list, Notion AI. And then you got ChatGPT, Jasper, but man, it's pretty cool. I'm finding it pretty cool, and I kind of want to get into these apps now in the space that I'm getting into, but I don't know, it's kind of exciting. For anyone that's into that. All right. Let's see. Let's get on to macro. You got any macro concepts, Luca? Anything you want to talk about? Financial markets, cultural, political factors that influence our lives?
I was thinking Japan. Moving to Japan is been on my mind for a little bit.
The land of the rising sun, Luca.
Yeah, been following this guy, Anton Warman, Swedish dude living in Japan, and he is basically just restoring old Japanese houses that have been abandoned, and I love it. And I think it'd just be a cool place to go. A lot of people have been popping up talking about how they are either from another country that doesn't, a non-English speaking country, and they've moved to Australia, and talk about their experience learning the language, coming to a place where they don't know anyone or speak the language or know anything about it, and just they've just made this decision to pack up and move. So I wondered, if I could do that, and where would I go? And I feel like Japan is probably a country that I could do that, where the culture's different enough and the language barrier exists enough that it would force me to learn the language if I was to live there. Because I don't think I could go somewhere where the population speak English really well, because there's just no incentive for me to learn. Whereas if they don't speak the language, then you really are forced to live there. And I spoke to my schoolmate that I bumped into today. He was living in Germany, and he was just saying that he mentioned how much he didn't realize how much of a toll it takes on someone, or how much of a toll it took on him to have to be conscious the whole time of how he's going to communicate with someone, because he doesn't speak German. So every time he goes to have a conversation with with someone for work, or to buy something, or to socialize, whatever, you're always at the front of your mind. You have to be thinking, how am I going to connect with this person? How am I going to express myself? How am I going to get my point across? So yeah, that would be more frustrating, I think, than just learning the language, really. Especially if you plan on being somewhere for a few years, it just kind of, I don't know, just doesn't make sense not to learn it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you're gonna be an international man, Luca. I see this on the horizon. But yeah, the language thing. Yeah, like I can see where he's coming from. Like it's been awesome learning Thai here because it's fun. Like I can understand bits of things saying like that I've heard on TV, and I can understand people more in real life now. I can actually have a bit of a conversation. So there's this I guess like a street food run ahan lady that I've had some conversations with, and she barely speaks any English, but we've managed to have some conversations, and yeah, she's cool. She was maybe keen on getting me to date her daughter, but yeah, but she makes a good 20 baht mangsawirat noodle, so vegetarian noodle. So,
Nice.
so yeah, man, you have to learn like if you want to integrate in any way, you just have to learn the language.
Have you met the daughter?
Otherwise, you're just going to be hanging with expats and foreigners the whole time. It's like, no, I don't think I will. I don't want to be dating at the moment, really. I mean, I can't, I'm open to it, but it's not on the top of the list. She was pretty cute, her daughter. She was showing me photos. But, yeah. But I could communicate with her. I said, Luk Sao, it means daughter in Thai. I've learned how to say that. So I'm like, we managed to like communicate it, which is very cool. And I think pretty essential if you want to live somewhere else that doesn't speak English. I mean, it's not essential. I actually, you can get by knowing a few words, but if you want to like experience it more and not feel that thing where your mate was talking about, that kind of pressure, because you do feel it. Like at the start, you go into a restaurant and I'm like, oh shit. I avoided restaurants because I didn't know how to ask for something in Thai, or like, or ask if like, if they had a vegetarian dish or whatever. So, but now I can. Yeah, absolutely, man. And yeah, Japan is cool, man. I mean, that ties into the macro thing that macro chart we're looking at. It's, Japan has a shit ton of debt, 263% debt to GDP ratio, actually, which is a shit ton when you think about, they're only collecting maybe 20 to 40% in tax receipts, and 2.5 times the entire economy is what they owe. So
for someone like me, Shannon, what does that mean when they're only collecting 40% of tax receipts?
So it means they're not going to be able to pay the debt back, and then
but most likely, what does it actually mean to collect a tax receipt? What does that mean?
So that's just like, so say they have all this debt, right? Like, maybe $20 trillion or whatever, right? And GDP is, say it's $20 trillion. So GDP would be like 700.
Let's just use an example. Let's use some numbers that we can use simply.
Yeah, so like,
let's say it's $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million GDP. And you're collecting 20% of that. So what's that? $200,000. So you're only collecting $200,000 in tax to pay your debt, and then you have all this other shit to pay for, like social security and all government services and everything. But your debt is like
100 million.
So like $1 million is your GDP. 20% of that is $200,000, and your debt is 2.5 times $1 million. You know,
Right.
it's like
So
it's pretty much saying it's completely unrealistic to pay it back. Seems to me, unless someone can do the maths on that better, but it just seems impossible. But
so they're making less than half of what they owe, and they're collecting 40% of what people owe them in tax.
say that once more, sorry.
So when you say they're only collecting 40% of their tax,
Yeah, 40% of GDP is the money that the government steals from its citizens.
oh, okay, so it owes that back to the citizens.
No, that's what they collect in tax. So, yeah. So when you say, so Japan has 263% debt to GDP ratio. Say their GDP is $1 million, and the only way they can make money is collecting 40% of that $1 million. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. So like it's like
400,000.
revenue versus net sort of thing. Like if they were a company, it'd be $1 million revenue, and they're netting 40% of that.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the money they have to pay it back. But then they have all the other shit to pay for, all the government services and that,
Right.
employees. So when you think of it that way,
They're going backwards.
does that seem impossible to you? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to need a surge of money to come in and fix that all up. Good way to do that is foreign investment.
Yeah, but the problem is the yen is in danger. So maybe it's not going to attract foreign investment, because they're going to have to invest in yen, and yeah,
So that's
the
where
yen isn't
people like
looking-
me swoop in and buy some abandoned houses.
Well, that's what I was saying to you. If we're talking international strategy, it's if you're earning in a different currency and you own some precious metals, you could be positioned very well. Like if you go to Japan and there's a crash, and you could buy something on the cheap with a stronger, by trading in some gold, by paying directly with gold even, it's possible. It's possible. Different countries, Venezuela's settled in gold, I'm pretty sure, for like oil and that, recently. So yeah, that could be a play for you. The problem will come with, I sent that message, I don't think you read it, but the problem could come in terms of people that are saving in yen. If the currency is massively devalued, if they go the more inflationary route, which they seem to be going with the Bank of Japan doing quantitative easing and everything. So that makes sense. Like the currency could be massively devalued and inflated.
Which once again would be good for me, right?
If you're not holding yen, it doesn't really matter. And if you go to live there, and you're having income some other way, if you're having income in yen, that could be a problem. But it's kind of, I guess it's all kind of, relative to what you have. But Japan's cool. Like, and then I was saying, like, Japan is like, I think it's like at least in the top 5, like in economic complexity. So they actually have a productive economy. And like when you compare like a country like Australia, which is really low in economic complexity, that could fare better for them in the future, when they want to pull themselves out of a bad place, depressionary state. They're pretty, they have quite a lot of technological ingenuity and all that over there. And all the best, a lot of great audio companies and that come out of Japan. So cars, everything. Australia, you know, they have it's mainly natural resources and property where people, you know, that's where GDP comes from. So there's an actual site. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, there's a site where you can actually see rankings of countries and economic complexity. So it's pretty interesting if you want to check it out. Yeah, man, but Japan's cool, man. Go to Shimokitazawa, 6th suburb. Bars, record stores, everything, man. Tokyo. It's awesome. You've never been, have you?
No, but I think I'd like it. I think it would suit my personality. It's kind of,
Yeah.
you know, it's very reserved, but at the same time, it's just got a wild side to it. Where it just unleash creativity and, I guess, I don't know, it just seems a bit free flowing, but yet very, also quite stringent. I don't know. Highly strung, but
it's pretty.
still,
It's very traditional.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ancient culture. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, it's not super cheap, I guess. So it's something to be aware of. I don't know. I went there in 2016. It's been a long time. I did 21 days there, I think. But yeah. What else can I say about you? I was going to say something, but yeah, I lost it. But yeah, anyway, you're going to move. You're thinking about it, hey?
Yeah, it's definitely on my list.
Awesome. Yes, send me that book if you get it as well. If you get a digital copy.
Yeah, well, apparently I
Sounds
spoke to the guy. He's it said paperback available from the 7th of November. He just can't set it up for pre-order just yet. So the paperback version will be available. So I will be getting it. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, this guy Anton Warman has written a book called Free Houses in Japan, the true story of how I make money DIY renovating abandoned homes. So yeah, I'm pretty interested in checking that out and seeing what we can get done with it. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Very cool. Yeah, I didn't think I just assumed property would be expensive in Japan, but you can get these abandoned homes on the cheap, man.
Yeah, and I thought you said tens of thousands of homes are abandoned, but he said, I'm pretty sure it's like 10 million, more than 10 million homes.
Wow. Yeah,
like
it doesn't.
Lots of houses.
Even in Japan, that it didn't. I understand it, in China, I know there's a lot of abandoned houses, but yeah, I didn't realize that about Japan. So that's cool, man. You build your own house, get over there.
Yeah.
Cool, very cool culture, respectful culture. Awesome music and art comes out of Japan.
But apparently,
my favorite movie was set in Japan. So.
But yeah, apparently the removal of rubbish is super expensive. Which is why
you got to cough up for it.
Yeah, which is why a lot of houses just get left abandoned, and all of people's belongings just are left remaining in those houses.
Is that because there's not many landfill sites or anything?
Well, yeah, I mean it's a pretty tiny country when you think about it.
Yeah.
And it's just an island, so yeah, the cleanup for that is very, very costly apparently.
Are you attracted to any areas you got Tokyo, Kyoto, Nara, and then you got?
I don't really know enough about them for it to really matter. I think I was just kind of looking for a place that was in the forest by the water. Is that still my ultimate goal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they got beaches and shit as well. So.
Yeah, beaches, but some fresh water, I think, is something important for me.
Nice, man. Well, yeah. Look into it, hey?
Yeah, for sure.
It'd be very cool. Yeah, it's interesting opportunity. So, all right, man. Should we move on? Costco is selling gold bars in the USA. This was an interesting observation. So apparently, like, they're selling these gold bars in Costco in USA, and they're just selling like hotcakes to like the prepper crowd.
And like, what's is there anything special about these gold bars? Are they legit? Are they 99% pure gold?
Yeah, I think they're legit. I think they're pan Suisse or something. Yeah, you wouldn't. They wouldn't. I'm pretty sure they'd be 99.99%. I would have heard of it. They weren't, but I think it's just there's a bit of barrier of entry to like people into to buying gold because yeah, I don't know. It's just you have to learn about it a bit or whatever. You have to go to a mint to buy some in Australia. But if you just get them at Costco, it's just easy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of just over the counter. Is there any sort of they don't get a receipt? They don't have to provide any sort of receipts or anything like that?
No, I'm not sure. Maybe they just sign a form or something when they buy it, or yeah. But it's interesting. I think they're selling a lot of survival packs and shit. So I think it's just indication that people are maybe not too confident in the economic future.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
You look tired, man, so maybe we should wrap this up soon.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure the time we're at, but
I think we're
it's probably 2 hours.
Coming up to 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay, maybe 1 hour 15 if I'm reading it right. But okay.
Yeah, 115 minutes.
Yeah, it seems we're doing 2 hour episodes these days.
Yeah.
So. Cool, man. What do you want to achieve in the next week?
I'm going to finish $100 million offers. It's going to be done before the next podcast, before the end of the week.
So $100 million offers. You're going to try mind map at mindmeister.com. And we want a business idea by the end of the week, Luca.
A new business idea? Or
at least a
hashed out
bunch
one.
of them. And any ideas. We just want ideas.
Yeah. All right.
Because we can hash them out on the podcast.
Maybe you could give me a list of problems that need to be achieved, and I'll come up with business ideas for them.
All right, I'll send you some problems.
I
actually had a business idea.
Make it a two-way street.
I'll mention a business idea. What do you think about... We'll just do it really quickly. Making mixtapes for people. Say a guy wants to send his girlfriend a mixtape. I buy the old cassette tapes, buy the Walkmans, and actually, do I want to keep this secret? No, I buy the cassette tapes, I buy the Walkmans, and then I, make the mixtape, customize it. They can send audio of their voice and everything, and I do the artwork and everything, and then I send it to their girlfriend with ready to go. Batteries, headphones, Walkman, mixtape. What do you think, Luca?
I like it. It's a very retro gift.
Yeah, it's that kind of nostalgic, cool retro gift.
Yeah,
maybe.
And I think it's retro enough that it would appeal to people of a certain generation, but it also might already be novel enough.
But tape's coming back, apparently.
Yeah,
Cassette's coming back.
It might be novel enough that the new kids have no idea what it is, so it's just a new product for them.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't. But it's out there.
Like
it'd be fun to do.
Reality might be that this is the third time or fourth time or fifth time that cassettes have gone around. I mean, it's the Great Reset, so who knows?
Yeah, apparently during COVID or something, like cassette sales doubled or some shit. Something like big. Yeah, it changed recently. So I've always liked cassettes. I used, made many a mixtape back in the day.
I've made a few myself.
Yeah. Did you ever give one to a girl though, Luke? I don't think I did.
I don't remember ever doing that. No.
Yeah, I was mainly just doing punk mixes and stuff. But
I think maybe mixed CDs. I probably gave a mixed CD to a girl, I would say.
Ooh.
I can't recall doing it, but I reckon I probably
It's not the same as a cassette though, is it? Like, and you're not going to send like a playlist or whatever. Like, it's just way cooler to have a mixtape.
Yeah. No, never did the tape.
Yeah.
But still got a
sorry,
stereo.
I cut off your plans.
Still got a stereo that makes mixtapes, actually.
There you go, man. Maybe you can
Record the radio.
Yep. So you're gonna do offers. You're gonna read offers.
Read offers,
and we'll come up with some ideas and we'll hash them out. Sounds good.
Yep.
All right.
What about you?
So this potential client, I'm gonna try and do the work for her and try and make it good. So if that goes well, if not, I'm just gonna keep. I'm gonna get onto maybe building. I got accepted for the Shopify affiliate program, so I might try building out a funnel for them. I'm hoping I get accepted for this capitalist exploits one because that'd be fucking cool. Yeah, just because I like, I know it'll be it's a good product. Actually, I haven't seen it, but I understand his thesis behind it. Yeah, and just like build some more. It sucks. It's super boring. We're just building, creating lists for services, cold email campaign. So that's it, man. I also might try and get my start on the path to getting my Thai driver's license because I think I can get it now after I've done my 90-day reporting. So I went to immigration yesterday. I'm officially allowed to be in Thailand for another 90 days, which is awesome.
Nice.
So, yep. So that's it for me. Any questions? What's that, sorry?
We've got to think about going to this affiliate party.
Oh, yeah.
For 2 days.
How much do you think the price is going to go up in the next couple of days?
Do you want to find out? That's the question.
I don't know. Should Luca and I, question for the audience, should we drop $999 US to go to this cool conference in Bangkok and rub shoulders with the affiliate world in Bangkok as Luca? I'm reading Luca's words right now off the off the podcast project. So let us know. Yeah, I wish I had more money.
Yes.
I wish I had steady income.
This is where you might find it. Hey, maybe you should email them and just tell them your exact situation and just ask them, hey, do you think this is worth it for me in my situation? See what they say.
Yeah, maybe they'll give me a scholarship or something.
Well, maybe they'll just give you an honest answer and say, no, you're not the type of person that should be here. Or maybe they'll say, yes, you should definitely be the person that's coming along to this because you would get heaps out of it.
Yeah. It'll be fun. But we've got to make some big decisions in the next couple of days. So listen out for the news on that.
And any questions for the audience? I did have a question. And the question is, if you would like a hardback copy of the $100 Million Leads book by Alex Hormozi, leave us a comment.
That's right. Offer's still on the table. Email contact@shannonhaig.com. Yeah. Let us know if you can. Otherwise, that's it from us, hey? That was a content-heavy episode. There was a lot of shit in the docket, so I think we did all right to keep it 2 hours.
And if you were going to move to any country, which country would it be and why?
International strategy. We value talk about that on our podcast, and I think it'll be important in the future. So Japan, yay or nay for Luca? I'd say it's a yay, more than an A.
I mean, also listening to that, the expat
Money Summit.
Expat Money Summit, Colombia.
They had some good stuff,
like a good
actually.
option.
Oh yeah.
I really like the. It was a good investment. There was a good investment opportunity there as well. There was a couple of good opportunities. I actually
Colombia, man.
Wish I
Uruguay.
took a little bit more of an advantage and listened to the free chats. I think I listened to about 3 or 4
I didn't listen
of
to
them.
enough. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be able to pay for back access, but it'll probably, I don't know. Yeah, Expat Money Summit, they had some good conversations. If anyone wants to check that out, macro, international strategy, all that. Colombia, man, Uruguay, Colombia, El Salvador, Argentina, possibly now if they get an ANCAP candidate in. So lots of opportunities there, I think, and potential safety as well. These countries have been through. Argentina's, been through hyperinflations, and they don't want this shit to happen again. They want to start fresh. And the Western countries haven't really been through that process yet, so it looks like it could be coming up. So, yeah. All right.
Nice.
Guess we'll call it a night, hey?
Another episode down.
All right. Episode 13, everyone. Thanks for listening. Have an awesome day or night, and we'll catch next time for episode 14. Take it easy.